anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ ihe niile onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ise ise ise.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. If you are joining me from Africa, Asia, Europe, America, Australia, or any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contribution. Please, each time you watch my video, go to the comment section and put down your comments. That is
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And it really is, for me, tragic to see an elder statesman and somebody I have immense respect for, to stand on TV or sit on television and begin to use words like clown and this, that, and the other against a man that has been a contemporary of his over the years. They may have had political differences, but to bring such personal animosity and angst into a political arena is something that gives me deep concern. I think he's obsessed. I think that he's virtually delusional. I think that his hatred for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has beclouded his judgment. And I think, frankly speaking, there's nothing that Asiwaju can ever do to appease or please people like Chief Bode George. He's made up his mind that Asiwaju is a demon. He's made up his mind that he will never support him. He's made up his mind that he will demonize him for the rest of his life. And that's okay, because it really doesn't matter to us. The most important thing for us is this: what the people think and what the electorate thinks and what they will do, not what Chief Bode George in his delusions and his obsessions manifests in terms of his wording.
But what about some of the issues that he has raised, the questions that he has asked tonight?
Like what?
What are the answers to them?
Well, he asked questions like what? He said that the elections were rigged. He said that ever since 1999, Bola Tinubu's elections and the elections that parties belonging or which Bola Tinubu led were rigged in Lagos State. So rigged in 1999, rigged in 2003, rigged in 2007, rigged in 2011, rigged in 2015, rigged in 2019. And he's saying because there's a new electoral act, this time round Lagos State will go PDP. The truth of the matter, and everybody knows, is that Lagos State will never go PDP. PDP itself imploded in Lagos State many, many years ago, never to be resurrected, as dead as a dodo. They will never resurrect. And no matter what he says, the answer lies in going to the field. Tinubu has defeated them every single election in Lagos State, fairly and squarely, gone through all the due process, all the courts and so on and so on, and continuously comes out on top, not just in Lagos, but in many other states in the southwest. And that is something that you should give him credit for, even if you don't like his face. So I find it difficult to sit here and listen to some of the things that this man has said. It's unfortunate. I think we should take our personal obsessions out of this. Let's stick to the issues. Let's be reasonable and rational and not come here and make absurd claims.
He raised some issues,
yes,
and he was asking questions.
Yes.
As a stakeholder, he's from Lagos State.
Yes.
He's a citizen of Lagos, right, and he's asking Alpha Beta,
yes,
a tax collecting, yes, agent in Lagos,
right,
who owns it. He's asked that question, yes, and he's also raised question over the debt burden of Lagos State. He's asking question and he wants answers.
Listen, he's perfectly entitled to raise questions and ask questions, but he appears to already know the answers. Why doesn't he venture the answers to us? These questions have been asked over and over again. As far as I'm concerned, it's inconsequential.
What are the answers?
No, ask him to provide the answers. He's the one that raised the question.
You should be able to get
No. I didn't come here to come and talk about Alpha Beta.
Because these are the issues that are being raised about your candidate. You should be able to speak about it.
Let's be very, very clear. I can tell you this for free, and really it's a pity that I have to say this to you. I can tell you this for free. There is absolutely no issue of corruption or any issue of malfeasance on the part of Bola Tinubu when it comes to Alpha Beta or when it comes to anything else. These things have been said over the years. Nothing has been proved. EFCC has not gone after him. ICPC has not gone after him. He has not been indicted by even the Obasanjo government or after the Obasanjo government when APC came in. All these years, same questions being asked. He knows the answers. Instead of asking questions, let him tell us what the answers are, then we'll take it from there. Or what he believes the answers are, let him take it from there. It is wrong to continue to impugn the character of somebody that has done so well for his people in this nation and continues to rise. We're not talking about Bola Tinubu or Lagos State alone anymore. This man has emerged as the presidential candidate of the largest party in this country, backed by many governors in this country, millions of people in this country who see their hope and aspirations in him as a leader of the party, as our presidential candidate. And that alone should be respected, instead of continuously going on about Alpha Beta, who owns Alpha Beta, who did this, what. The world does not begin and end in Lagos State. Lagos has done very well. Only a fool would say Lagos has not flourished since 1999, what it was then and what it is today. It has gone from strength to strength, and I'm very proud of the fact that I lived in Lagos for many years of my life. Look at Lagos today compared to yesterday. It's done exceptionally well. That is a given. So I think that we should focus on the whole country and raise issues that are pertinent to an election, not on who owns Alpha Beta. If he has the answer, let him provide it, then we'll take it from there.
I know that the campaign period will give room for more debate over this. I think it was just okay for me to allow you to respond to some of these issues. There'll be a lot of room, but let's begin with some of the conversations that are prepared for you or with you. One being that as Femi Fani-Kayode, someone who spoke bitterly sometimes and who spoke so hard about Bola Tinubu as a person and against the APC. How do you feel right now, morally speaking for the APC and Bola Tinubu?
Nothing to do with morals. It's a question of choices. It's my choice. And my choice is that when I was in the PDP, and I was in the PDP for a number of years, I fought against those that were against my party. Now I'm no longer in the PDP, I'm in the APC. I will fight against those that are against my party. That is my nature. And I make these choices based on conviction and based on courage. It was very clear to me what was going to happen in the PDP. You asked me why, how come I've changed? It was very clear to me what was going to happen in the PDP. Look at their situation today. He was talking about a party that has been bedeviled, that a devil has entered the party. I saw that devil 2 years ago, coming in, slipping in, creeping into their ranks, and I knew this was going to happen to them. They have imploded, a situation whereby he's now in a party, or they're a party, which has violated its own party constitution by insisting on providing a northern presidential candidate. Secondly, a party that, despite the fact that it has a northern presidential candidate and a key leading figure in the south, would have won it, but they messed him up at the party convention shamelessly, ensured a northern candidate came in and basically cheated him out of that opportunity, and then they now have the effrontery to say that the chairmanship, the national chairmanship of the party should remain in the north. What type of party is that? It's a sectional party, a presidential candidate from the north, a national chairman from the north, a board of trustees chairman from the north, and the two appointments they've made so far for their presidential campaign, the two spokesmen are all from the north. It's a sectional party, so I sympathize.
But these are some of the arguments you've made against the APC. You're someone who has your party, you've spoken about religious issues.
I'll take that in a minute. But
in fact, you have said at some point that there was a demon and devil in the APC.
No. Let me take this step by step, and I'll explain this to you. The fact of the matter is this, okay? Today, let's talk about today, not yesterday. APC has reformed itself and has become a different body. This APC...
So the devil left the APC?
Let me tell you...
The devil you started
No. But definitely it's been exercised, and I'll tell you why. And it's proved. I'm not just saying it. At the convention that we had, it was the APC Northern governors that insisted that the party, the presidential ticket should go down south. They insisted on a power shift. A situation whereby even some of us were supporting northern candidates because PDP had come up with the northern. They said, no, we will give power to the south. We will let it shift in the name of equity and decency on all that is good. That is a party that is reformed, that has a new mindset, that has decided that it wants national unity and cohesion and puts it before northern interests. PDP has done the opposite. So if you're talking about demons of the past in APC, and there were demons in the past in the APC, those demons left long ago. The party that's played with a demon today is the PDP, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, all those things I just said, couple it with this as well. Even at the very height of their effrontery, that they have cheated, Wike cheated all the southerners in the party. Even at that height, they are still saying that nothing will change, party chairman will not step down, and so on and so forth. What will they do when they come to power, if they come to power in this country? So I think that he's absolutely right. I agree with Chief Bode George. A demon, a devil, has entered the PDP. But where I disagree with him is this. That demon and that devil will never leave the PDP. It will not leave the PDP. It's in the grip of the powers of darkness. And I'm assuring you of this, that by the time we go to a campaign and election, we will expose them even further.
Now, it isn't ironic. What we've seen as an aberration, the issue of religion in politics, is what is playing out in the party that you support now.
Well,
how do you defend
first
that?
of all, I wouldn't say, when you say aberration, this is a very weighty word. Listen, the most important thing, the greatest danger to national unity and cohesion, as far as I'm concerned, and we've been saying this over the years, is a situation whereby power does not shift to the south. After 8 years of a Hausa Fulani man ruling this country, it was a given. In the interest of the whole country, we must have a power shift. That was the target. That was the most important thing. And the APC decided to do that, and they've come up with a southern candidate today. Now, the choices that southern candidate makes are the choices that he is comfortable with. Now, obviously, there are issues with that. Obviously, there are issues with the same faith ticket. Obviously there are, and any Christian that will tell you that he's particularly happy with that, then seriously speaking cannot be a real Christian. But as far as I'm concerned, this is not an issue of this is simply an issue of choice and political expedience.
You are the one that's spoken about how some elements in the country had wanted to Islamize the nation.
That is precisely the point I was making.
That's why I said, I mean, you have described it as an aberration in the past.
Fulanization.
Yeah, you have.
No, let me take
you have said some these things.
Let me take it step by step.
Yeah.
We spoke about Fulanization. That has been thrown out of the window now because power has been shifted to the south by the APC, the party we're accused of that. Secondly, we spoke about Islamization. Now, look at it again, and let's look at this closely. Since I joined the APC, I realized, like I said earlier, that things have completely changed. It's simply not like that. A situation whereby in this country today, we have 20, no less than, I believe it's 22. I think I'm right in saying 22. Christian governors in this country. A situation whereby the whole of the Southwest has a Christian governor, except for Osun State, which has now changed because we have a Christian governor there as well now that's coming in. A situation like that tells you clearly that this country cannot be Islamized, and neither is our party, the APC, interested in that. What is happening, really, as far as I'm concerned, is this, that we have reformed, we are moving forward. Same faith ticket is something that was a challenge, but we looked into it. I prayed about it, I consulted, I spoke to Kashim, because all along, my position has been, it all depends on who the vice is. I said this on your program before the convention, that if it came to that, it depends on who the number 2 is. It's not about his faith, it's about the individual. And if it is an individual that's a Muslim that I can live with, I'm prepared to live with that. So, and I did precisely that. I spoke with this man, I spoke with Tinubu. Let me just say this, because the point you raised is important, and it's a fair question you asked. You talk about Islamization. The candidate himself returned schools to the missionaries in Lagos, something that had never been done before. The candidate gave land to so many of these mega churches in Lagos State when he was governor, and since that time they've been granted licenses and land to build churches. Go to the north. The vice, that is Shetima himself, the vice presidential candidate, I met him. For over 3 hours we discussed. I looked into the man's eyes. I raised a number of pertinent questions which I needed to be satisfied. And I was satisfied with his answers. He has built more churches in Borno State than any other governor before him and since that time. And he has won the confidence of many Christians.
We need to close in just about 30 or 40 seconds.
So the issue of Islamization no longer arises.
30 or 40 seconds we need to close. And the first question, if you can do that in 10 seconds, is the mission of Bola Tinubu to OBJ. What is that? Well,
I think it's very clear that he's consulting. He has gone to meet a man that many of us consider to be the father of the nation. He's gone to meet a Yoruba elder. He's gone to consolidate his base. He's gone to explain his mission to him. And I sincerely hope that our former president and our father will reciprocate this gesture by supporting him. We need a solid base in the Southwest for this coming election.
And we need to close on this note. We need to close on this note. Is it ironic also, and how could Nigerians listen to this kind of conversation, knowing full well that Bola Tinubu has said in the past, quote, Obasanjo is the greatest election rigger. His time has expired. Those are some of the words linked to Bola Tinubu. But he's gone to meet that same person he described years ago.
And President Obasanjo has said worse things about Bola Tinubu, both in his books and also on television. We say these things sometimes. It does not mean we'll be enemies
so
for life.
So Nigerians should not believe what politicians say?
Nigerians can believe what they like. The most important thing is that whatever anybody says at any given point in time, they reserve the right to retrace their steps and say something else based on conviction. And I don't think that that the gentleman that you're quoting there would say the same thing again. That Ashwaju would say the same thing again about President Obasanjo. Otherwise, he wouldn't be.
I'm not shy about offering my opinions, but I'm always very reticent about dealing with persons. But it is inescapable that when a man has offered himself for public service, we are left with no choice but to contemplate their persons and necessarily offer value assessments, and in most cases, subjective opinions, because we're dealing with persons. But I would say that instead of focusing on the odiousness of the mass of those who have offered themselves, and they are mostly odious, it's been a gallery of rogues coming out to talk about wanting to be president of Nigeria, from the one who was convicted. Look, it's I recall that a few years ago I did warn that if we do nothing about restructuring our governance systems, the one that will come after Buhari will be worse than Buhari. And if you look at the gallery of rogues that have come out, it will be clear to you exactly what to expect. Let me start with the godfather of them all, the Lagos octopus. It wasn't always like this between me and him. He's never seen me before, never, not once. But when he was coming to power for the first time, I took night bus from Abuja to Lagos to come and vote for him. Prince Ademola Adeniji Adele, may God rest his soul, he was running as Sarumi's deputy. I slept in his house because his brother-in-law, my friend, lived in his house, and that was where I stayed whilst I was in the law school. I woke up in his house in the morning to go and vote. He was on his balcony, and he asked me, "Mandi, Odin Lord Dibo Fumi Abi?" I said, "Ah, Papa, Emaro, AD all the way." Yeah, AD all the way. That was the mask. I voted him the first time he came around. It's one of the worst errors I ever made in my life, because I helped to birth today's monster. Now, we have 22 years of his hegemony ruling over Lagos State, unchallenged, virtually untouched, unchallenged, supreme in Lagos State. His word is law. He rules the street, even as he rules the chambers, both of justice and of the legislature. What has he battered? He is effectively a dictator. He does as he pleases in Lagos State. There is a 22-year record to look at, and the record and the facts speaks for themselves. Res ipsa loquitur, we say in law. The facts speak for themselves. In the last 15 years, the road in and out of my neighborhood has been a construction site, building nothing but greed. A veritable tool for the pauperization of a people and the enrichment of an hegemony. They've killed for that toll gate on his watch, under his imprimatur. Now he wants to be president. When we are done looking at his 22-year record, which will be close to 24-year record by then, we will then look to his health, his mental capacity. 50 million soldiers, they will eat corn, they will eat cassava in the morning, and that's the person who wants to be president after the current disaster? Let's leave that man first. But let's deal with the system that has brought that actually emboldened someone like him. Nigeria would have deserved Bola Ahmed Tinubu if he ever emerges the president of Nigeria. Nigeria would have deserved him. It would have been Nigeria if the like of him would become the president of Nigeria. I don't believe him a president, or rather a candidate. But because you've asked the question and he's the elephant in the room, let me leave his person to the side and then let's deal with Pastor Agborin, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Brilliant man, intelligent in the extreme. But his record in the last 22 years would suggest that we should not conflate intelligence with wisdom. And perhaps we should stop presuming integrity until it is proven. He found the grace to be Tinubu's Attorney General, designing the architecture of the capture of Lagos State and its privatization, and the trust of his capo as consigliere, and became, whether they dispute how that came about or not, the route to the vice presidency runs through Bodilon in one form or the other. 8 years it would have been that he would have been vice president of Nigeria, strutting around defending Buhari in the face of the obvious. He has even said clearly that he wants to continue the agenda of his boss. Let's even assume, for argument's sake, that he's saying all those things so that he might not alienate his boss's supporters. Question is this: how does a man who has benefited so immensely from the system gain power and then presume to change the system? How? Let's leave Pastor Agborin for a second. I don't even believe a Yoruba man, whether we change the system or not, should be interested, at least for a season, in the primary office of the Nigerian state if it survives. Because it will be most unfair and inequitable to look beyond the land of the Igbos for the person that will be the titular head. I'm not looking for another monster in Aso Rock, but whoever is going to be the primary #1 citizen of Nigeria, at least for a season, that person has to be of Igbo extraction. Nobody should, with half a brain, should be talking about it again. Why? Because equity demands it. But if we are now saying the Igbo should have it, who is the Igbo that should be having it? Is it a Rocha Okorocha, a most odious, vile human being whose only distinguishing feature as a governor was the erection of stupid statues and construction of roads that lasted just one reign? That one wants to be the man who is on record as saying that he became rich by serving Red Cross. Come on. That one, it shows you that the system only ever pushes forward the worst. Or is it all Jews or Kanu? The court effectively the court has effectively said he's a thief. But because of a technicality, they should go and retry him. That technicality will never be available to a poor man or to a member of the lower classes. But it is available to him as a member of the class of those to whom impunity is available. That is the one who wants to be president. It is the worst of Ndi Igbo that is showing forward. The empires are him. If any one of these persons become president of Nigeria, why would they be interested in restructuring Nigeria to give citizenship to the Nigerian? So you find very quickly that the system is throwing up what we should consider the very worst in replacement of what is already a disaster. Now, even if an angel somehow manages to gain office, let me use one of such angels as an example. Let's look at Kingsley Moghalu. Brilliant man, accomplished. He has spoken extensively to restructuring of Nigeria. But where is his plan? If he gains power, what's he going to do about it? How? If he's gaining power on the strength of the 1999 Constitution, without having mobilized the Nigerian people around the idea of a restructuring that he has placed on paper and galvanized them behind, how is he going to get this den of robbers called the Nigerian Senate or the Congress of baboons called the House of Reps? How is he supposed to be getting any one of those ones to take away the foundation for the food they are eating? They just spend billions to get into office, and you expect them to, or is he going to plan a military coup? The only way anybody can change the system is to engage the electoral process, let the people know and mobilize them behind your plan. But
I am quoting them. I wasn't there. Whether they acted on their own or they acted collectively, and they have not denied it. Look at the statements. We see them. We listen to their discussions. We know where they are. Which means it is possible to take them out. And I believe that it is possible, but through technology.
Yeah, we see some Nigerians, you know, I think was.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you, and remember this. Bye-bye. See you again.